You're listening to Break Your Ego, Find Your Soul with Ramsey Bergeron.
Hi, I'm Ramsey Bergeron with Bergeron Wellbeing, and today I want to talk about burnout. Over three-fourths of American workers are burned out. They're just exhausted. They're cynical. And a lot of companies are doing a lot of different things to try to help counter that to increase productivity and keep people happy. But I don't want to talk about those companies. I want to talk about you. Are you burned out? Because it doesn't matter what your company is doing or your organization is doing. What are you doing to help fight that feeling, fight that fatigue? I'm going to give you some tools today in order to help you with that. And we're going to start by looking at your morning, because the quality of your morning is going to determine the quality of your day. So think about your iPhone, the thing that's the most important thing to you that you never live without. So if you only plugged your iPhone in for 30 minutes at night, how well is that thing going to work the next day? And imagine if you did that every day for a week, and then a month, and then a year. So it needs to be plugged in right amount of time in order for it to have a full charge, in order for it to function the way that it needs to function. Well, you, my friend, are the same way. What are you doing to really give yourself time to recharge? Are you one of those people that when you wake up in the morning, you drink half a cup of coffee and you zip out the door as fast as you can and get to work and just begin your day like that, like full of chaos and catabolic energy? Are you really setting yourself up for success that way? Could there be a different way that you could start off your day? And I know some of you are saying, well, no, I get to bed so late. I spend an hour watching CNN at night, and then I go to sleep. And so I only have like 45 minutes in the morning. All right. How well is that working for you? What if there's a different way? So just keep an open mind and think about maybe some of the things that I say today, if they could help you, if they could help apply to you, because burnout is so much more than just about your productivity at work. It's the quality of your life. How much are you enjoying your life? So that's what we're going to focus on. It, regardless of what your company is doing to help you prevent burnout. This is something for you. What can you do to take charge? So I came up with a little acronym here. I'm doing this live, so hopefully everything will kind of work with me as I'm doing this here. So to combat burnout, start your day bright and early. BRIGHT, a little acronym here. And we're going to kind of go through this one by one and see what that means. So the B, we're going to talk about boundaries. Establishing some boundaries, both for you and for the people you work with. So for me, a boundary that I have in the morning, I don't look at my email for the first hour that I'm awake. I don't check my text messages for the first hour I'm awake. And that thought may terrify you. But a boundary, I want to make sure something's clear here. There's a quote by Mark Groves I think is very important. Boundaries, let me rephrase that. Walls keep everyone out. Boundaries help show them where the door is. So you're not telling people, I am totally inaccessible. I'm not valuing what you have to say. What you're telling them is, from this time to this time, unless it's an emergency, I'm unavailable. And using automation can help you with that. Sending up an automatic email response that says, hey, I am unavailable from this time to this time. If it's an emergency, call me. Or better yet, if you have another coworker that is available, then check in with them. Say, hey, if I'm unavailable, please reach out to so-and-so. Another helpful thing that boundaries help establish that people overlook, when you don't have boundaries, you are actually hurting other people from growing, because they're reaching out to you instead of figuring out problems for themselves. When I was personal training, I would have people text me from the grocery store like, hey, should I buy this or that? And my response would usually be something like, make a decision. We'll talk about it next time I see you. So think about the last, like maybe someone sent you an email and you don't get to it, or you don't even see it for a couple of hours later. And then when you reply saying, hey, about the thing you wanted, how many times have they said, oh, well, never mind, I already found the answer out. So when you establish a boundary, you're forcing people to be resourceful, find things out on their own. And that way, it's also a better use of your time to be doing something else. Now, when you set the boundary, it should be clear, concise, and consistent. So make sure that it's well worded. Everyone kind of understands where you are. It's not kind of nebulous, especially when you're dealing with coworkers in the corporate world and what your responsibilities are. And again, if you need help with that, automation is a great way to help you establish boundaries with email auto responses, with whatever your voicemail message is. Just great little tips to help out there. R is ritual. What are you doing in the mornings for that, let's say, hour before you go to work? And I use the word ritual and not habit on purpose, because a habit is mindless. There's a saying in Buddhism where a monk is sitting there meditating and a guy comes running by on a horse at full speed. The horse is just taking off. And the monk says, "Where are you going?" And the guy says, "I don't know. Ask the horse." That horse is habit energy. How many of us find ourselves just pulled along just from the mundane habits that we have established every day without even thinking about it? Like, you probably wake up, you get your cup of coffee, you're not even thinking about it. This is just automatic, monkey mind routine. Well, but whenever we have ritual, what ritual allows us to do is it's with purpose. Ritual is intentional. It's aware. It's a decision you've made in order to help make your day the way that you want it. You're designing your day. It's a planned out structure. It allows you to be the driver of your life instead of the co-pilot or passenger. So whenever you do ritual long enough, yes, it becomes habit. But it's important to realize that habit, just as it is, just without you having a mindful impact on it, is just totally mindless. So creating a ritual that works for you in the morning, setting yourself up for success. This is when I want to wake up. I'm going to have my cup of coffee. I'm going to do a couple of the other things on the list, hopefully, before I run out the door to work. So try to establish a ritual that's going to work for you to help just make you a happier person. Just kind of work on that work-life balance, so you're not just waking up half energized out the door down to work. I is intention. What do you want for the day? What is your plan for the day? If you're just getting pulled along from one fire to the next and you don't sit there and think about, what do I intend to accomplish today? You're not going to be as successful. Well, it's kind of like if you get in the car, you don't know where you want to go. Well, that's where you're going to end up because you don't know where you want to go. Energy flows where intention goes. So if you want to really channel your energy towards things that you want to accomplish, you have to know what it is that you want to accomplish that day. And are your values incongruent with those intentions? Thinking about, what do you intend to do? Is that in line with what you want to do? And if you're a manager at your company, is it in line with what your organization wants to do? So making sure that you have congruency of values with you, your organization, and with what your actions are, because your actions need to be matching that intention. So that's intention, why it's important. To help you determine if intentions are important or not, or what your intentions are, G is grounding. Ground yourself. And that can mean meditation, centering, just kind of learning to detach from the thoughts in your mind so that you don't go down that thought spiral. How many times do we let a thought enter our mind and then it just starts going crazy from there? So when we ground ourselves by meditating, centering, however you want to, think about it, it allows us to create space between stimulus and reaction. And in that space, you have choice. And that choice is freedom. You can then decide, do you want to react to certain situations in that way? It's challenging to do that when you're in a stressful situation if you haven't begun practicing this when you're not in a stressful situation, which is why I think it's really important. Make this part of your morning routine or ritual. Ground yourself. It brings you into the realization that the only moment you have control over is at this one. So grounding has been instrumental for me. I know a lot of you might say, well, I don't have time to meditate or ground myself. Well, you have to make that time. With all of these things, you have to make the time, because what is it costing you if you're not? If your life is great and hunky-dory and you don't have burnout, awesome. Maybe this video is not for you. But if you feel like maybe there's an imbalance, give it some thought. There's a saying that says you should meditate for 20 minutes a day. And if you find you don't have the time, meditate for an hour. Because then you really realize, what are you focusing on? You have the time. It's just a matter of prioritization. After grounding, we talk about health. What are you doing for your health in the morning? If your body's not right, the rest of your day will go all wrong. You have to take care of yourself. So for health, that can be a number of different things. That can mean hitting the gym if you have time or want to in the morning, or if you've made time, stretch, yoga, even going for a walk in nature. going for a walk in your neighborhood. If you do that, that's health and you're grounding. Just taking care of your body, because it really impacts your energy throughout the day. Just once you get moving, you start to feel better. You start to clear your head. Anything, just do something for your health in the morning. And then T, trust the process. They say that the reality of forming a new habit or a ritual, they say it takes 6 weeks. It's actually about 2 months before something that you do becomes routine. Especially for whenever I was training people to get in shape, 6 weeks to really start noticing a difference with your body. So just because I've worked out for 3 days, if I don't see the results right away, it's not that it's not working. I have to trust the process. Thinking about the Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, the caterpillar analogy. Yeah, they climb into the cocoon. It takes a little bit of time before they emerge as that butterfly. And it's going to be uncomfortable as you start to change or look at things in a slightly different way. But again, ask yourself, if you're not making the time in the morning for you to just have that energy and take care of yourself, what is it costing you? And no matter what your company or your coworkers or anyone else might be doing for burnout, what are you doing? What are you controlling that's within your control, which is just your thoughts and even more importantly, just your actions. What are you going to do to take care of you? So, and if you have any trouble with that, feel free to reach out. After all, I am a coach, and you can reach me at bergeronwellbeing.com. Hope you found some of this valuable. Give it a shot. I'd love to hear about if any of this worked for you. So please tell me in the comments if you found any of this helpful or useful, or what your big takeaways are. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day.